What if the camping brand everyone recommends is the exact one you should avoid? The brands you grew up trusting have quietly changed hands. They moved production overseas. Engineering that built their reputation has been replaced by marketing budgets that protected. You are standing in a store with a logo you recognize from childhood. You have no idea it is now owned by a conglomerate that also makes scented candles. 7 brands to stop buying. 3 that are actually worth it. Stick around. Number 7. Eureka. Have you ever bought gear from a brand that technically no longer exists? Eureka has been making tents since 1895. Sir Edmund Hillary used Eureka tents on Everest expeditions. The U.S. military contracted Eureka to produce field hospitals during World War II. That heritage is real, and it is remarkable. Here is what happened to it. Johnson Outdoors announced in 2023 that it would exit the Eureka tent product line entirely. The original Binghamton, New York facility, where Eureka tents were manufactured for over a century, was sold. Johnson Outdoors decided to focus on its Jetboil brand instead. The company's chief financial officer described the expected impact on company sales as less than 1%. Think about that for a moment. A brand with 128 years of history, reduced to a rounding error on a quarterly earnings call. Eureka tents, currently on shelves, are clearance stock from a brand with no future support, no warranty that matters, and no replacement parts pipeline. You are not buying a tent. You are buying the ghost of one. The heritage was earned over a century of genuine craftsmanship. The company that earned it decided it was worth less than 1% of quarterly revenue. Nobody put a sign on the shelf to tell you that. Verdict. The heritage is real. The company behind it no longer exists. Number 6. Coleman. Have you ever wondered why that Coleman stove your dad had lasted 30 years, but the one you bought last summer already feels cheap? Coleman is the most recognized name in camping. It was founded in 1900. Lanterns that lit rural America before electrification reached small towns. GI pocket stoves carried by soldiers in 1942. A brand so foundational that for most of the 20th century, camping and Coleman were effectively synonymous. Here's what happened. In 2015, Newell Brands acquired Coleman for $13.2 billion. This is the same conglomerate that owns Yankee Candle, Crock-Pot, and Sharpie. Coleman is now one brand inside a $16 billion consumer goods portfolio, managed alongside scented candles and permanent markers. Manufacturing moved overseas. The Golden, Colorado office was closed and moved to Chicago to sit alongside Newell Brands' beverageware division. Community forums from longtime users tell the same story consistently. Newer tents leak after 2 seasons. Newer stoves are made from thinner metal. Newer lanterns lack the durability of equipment made before the acquisition. One user described it plainly. It is the same thing that happened to Schwinn and Mongoose. Quality names stamped on products that no longer justify them. The original Coleman lanterns from the 1950s still function today. The company that made them no longer makes the same product. Verdict. You are buying a logo that has outlived the company that earned it. Number 5. Igloo. Ever paid $150 for a cooler and watched the ice melt by day 2? Igloo has been making coolers in Katy, Texas since 1947. Domestic manufacturing is a genuine point of differentiation. Many Igloo products are still made in the United States, and that matters. The Max Cold line performs reasonably at its price point. For a weekend barbecue or a casual camping trip, an Igloo does exactly what it is supposed to do. So why is it on this list? Because Igloo markets itself alongside premium performance coolers at prices that have crept steadily upward, and the construction gap between Igloo and genuinely high-performance alternatives has never been wider. Independent testing shows Igloo coolers maintaining ice for 1 to 2 days under real-world conditions. Premium roto-molded alternatives hold ice for 5 to 10 days at comparable or lower price points when you factor in longevity. The difference is fundamental. Igloo uses injection-molded plastic, the standard process for commodity goods. Premium coolers use roto-molding, where plastic is baked into a single seamless shell with walls thick enough to provide serious insulation. The physics are not negotiable. Thicker insulation retains temperature longer, Igloo's highest end products now retail for $150 to $200. At that price, your money works 3 times harder elsewhere. Verdict: fine at the budget end, unjustifiable at anything above it. The North Face was founded in 1966 in San Francisco by Douglas Tompkins, a serious mountaineer who wanted equipment that matched the demands of serious climbing. The original products were built for real expeditions, not marketing campaigns. Here is what happened. VF Corporation acquired the North Face in 2000. The brand now operates as a fashion label that sells camping-specific products to people who primarily wear them in cities. Walk into any major airport and count the North Face jackets. Almost none of those people just came off a mountain. The North Face Eco Trail sleeping bag retails for $180. It uses synthetic insulation and has a temperature rating of 35 degrees Fahrenheit. Its packed size is large relative to competitors at the same price point. For that same $180, Nemo delivers a meaningfully better synthetic bag with a lower temperature rating. Sea to Summit delivers a down bag with a significantly smaller packed size and a better warmth to weight ratio. The North Face charges a premium calibrated to its streetwear positioning. That premium has nothing to do with the performance of the camping product in your hands. You are paying for a logo that reads well in a coffee shop and performs adequately in a campground. Adequately is not what $180 should buy you. Verdict: the Mountain Heritage is marketing. The gear is mid-range at premium prices. Number 3. Kelty. Ever notice that the brand everyone calls a solid mid-range option is somehow never the best option at that price? Kelty was founded in 1952 by Dick Kelty, who invented the modern external frame backpack. That invention shaped hiking as we know it. Their entry-level tent offerings and tuck sleeping bag line deliver real value for casual campers at accessible prices. At the entry level, Kelty is a legitimate recommendation. The problem is the upper tier of their lineup and the brand positioning that goes with it. Kelty is owned by American Recreation Products, which also owns Sierra Designs. Manufacturing is overseas. The mid-range and upper-range Kelty products, sleeping bags retailing at $150 to $250 and tents at $200 to $400, compete directly with Nemo Equipment, Big Agnes, and MSR, where the engineering investment per dollar is measurably higher. The Kelty Cosmic 20 sleeping bag retails for $149. The Nemo Riff 15, a genuinely better product by temperature rating, pack size, and construction quality, retails for $179. That $30 difference is not the reason to buy Kelty. You are paying for brand recognition built on a 1952 invention, while the actual product is built to a commercial price target that prioritizes margin over performance. Verdict: buy Kelty at the entry level. At anything above $100, your money works harder elsewhere. Number 2. REI Co-op House Brand. Do you trust a store's own brand more because you trust the store? REI is a cooperative, a membership-based retailer that returns profits to its members and positions itself as the ethical alternative to corporate outdoor retail. That story is real, and it has earned REI enormous goodwill among the camping community for decades. Walk into any REI and you feel like you are among people who actually go outside. That feeling is genuine. The house brand gear is a different conversation. REI Co-op branded products are private label goods. REI designs them to a price target, contracts manufacturing to third-party factories in Asia, and sells them under the Co-op brand at margins that fund the retail operation. The Co-op Groundbreaker tent retails for around $180. At that price, you are competing directly with Big Agnes, Osprey, and Nemo, brands whose entire business is building that product category to the highest standard possible. REI house brand gear is not built to that standard. The difference shows in zipper quality, pull material, fabric weight, and seam taping consistency. REI's generous return policy obscures the quality gap rather than closing it. You are paying a premium for a brand whose primary expertise is retail, not product engineering. Verdict: the co-op model is admirable. The house brand gear is not the reason to shop there. Brand to avoid. Number 1. Ozark Trail. What does a $25 tent actually cost you when it fails at midnight in a rainstorm? Ozark Trail is Walmart's camping brand. It retails at prices that seem impossible and is purchased by millions of first-time campers every year who do not yet know what they are buying. The problem is not that it is cheap. The problem is that it is marketed alongside genuine camping gear without making the construction compromises visible to the buyer. A first-time camper cannot tell the difference by looking at the packaging. Here is what they are actually buying. Ozark Trail tents use fiberglass poles, the cheapest pole material in tent manufacturing. They are heavier than aluminum, weaker under lateral stress, and prone to shattering rather than bending when overloaded. A fiberglass pole failure in wind does not bend gracefully, it splinters. Those sharp fragments can puncture the tent body from the inside, leaving you with no shelter and no warning. The Rainfly waterproofing is rated at 1,000 millimeters hydrostatic head, the bare minimum to be described as waterproof under light rain. MSR tent flies are rated at 1,500 to 3,000 millimeters. In a serious rainstorm, that gap is the difference between waking up dry and waking up in a puddle. Sleeping bag temperature ratings are not EN13537 tested. The number on the label is a marketing figure, not a safety specification. Ozark Trail benefits from the fact that most buyers do not know that standard exists. Verdict: you are buying camping-shaped objects, not camping gear. Transition: that is 7 brands charging you for heritage logos or apparent price targets. Now, here is where it gets better. 3 brands where the money actually reaches the product. These are not the brands you have seen in every outdoor store. They are the ones professional guides, military units, and serious outdoor people actually use. Most campers have never heard of them. That gap between their reputation in professional circles and their obscurity in mainstream retail is exactly where the value lives. Number 3, Nemo Equipment. Nemo Equipment was founded in 2002 by Cam Brenzinger while studying industrial design at the Rhode Island School of Design. The company is based in Dover, New Hampshire. Nemo does something almost no mainstream camping brand does. They publish the engineering rationale behind their design decisions, including the anatomical research behind sleeping bag shapes and the pressure mapping behind sleeping pad construction. The Nemo Tensor sleeping pad uses horizontal baffling tubes that run across the pad rather than lengthwise. This eliminates the lateral rolling sensation that makes most ultralight pads feel unstable during sleep. That is not a marketing claim. That is an engineering solution to a specific problem that Nemo identified, studied, and solved. The problem existed in every sleeping pad on the market. Nemo was the first company to fix it. The Rift sleeping bag uses a spoon shape, wider at the knees and hips to match the natural position of a sleeping body. Standard mummy bags compress the knees together. That compresses the insulation between them and reduces warmth at exactly the point where warmth is most needed. You paid for that insulation. A standard mummy bag prevents it from doing its job. Nemo looked at how people actually sleep and built a bag shaped around that reality instead of around manufacturing convenience. The Nemo Dagger tent uses a crossing hub pole system that increases interior volume without increasing packed size or weight. The design decisions are documented. The trade-offs are explained. The company treats its customers as people capable of understanding why a product was built the way it was. Most camping gear brands invest in photography. Nemo invests in engineering and then tells you exactly what they did and why. That bet is only possible if the reasoning actually is sound. Nemo gear retails at a premium. That premium is connected to design investment, not marketing spend. The difference is visible the moment you use the product. Verdict: the engineering is visible in every product. Worth it. Number 2, MSR, Mountain Safety Research. MSR was founded in 1969 by Larry Penberthy, an aerospace engineer who was appalled by the failure rate of climbing equipment after a series of fatal accidents in the American mountaineering community. He did not found a gear company. He founded a safety research organization that happened to make gear. That distinction matters more than it sounds. Every company on the avoid list was founded to sell products. MSR was founded because people were dying from equipment failures, and one engineer decided that was unacceptable. That founding principle is still visible in the product 55 years later. The MSR Whisperlight backpacking stove has been in continuous production since 1984, not because MSR lacks the resources to redesign it, but because the design does not need to change. It is field repairable with parts you can carry in a shirt pocket. It runs on multiple fuel types. When a design works that completely, you leave it alone. The MSR Hubba Hubba backpacking tent uses DAC Featherlight poles, the highest grade aluminum pole construction available in the production tent market. MSR publishes material specifications. Pole diameters, fabric weights, and seam tape widths are all publicly disclosed before purchase. The tent repair kit includes genuine replacement pole sections, not generic alternatives. MSR designed the tent to be fixed in the field because MSR was founded by a person who understood that gear fails at the worst possible moment. MSR gear is more expensive than Coleman. It is field repairable, engineered to a defined standard, and built by a company whose entire reason for existing is that cheap gear kills people in the mountains. There is no version of that founding principle that allows for cost cutting on materials. The philosophy has not changed since 1969. Every product they make carries that weight. Verdict: the products reflect the founding principle. Still true after 55 years. Worth every penny. Number 1, Helinox. Helinox is a South Korean company that most people have never heard of, and whose products they have almost certainly seen. Helinox manufactures the DAC aluminum poles used in MSR, Big Agnes, Black Diamond, and most other premium tent brands. They are the pole supplier to the premium tent industry. Then they decided to make their own products. The Helinox Chair 1 weighs 960 grams and holds 145 kilograms. Read that again. That's under 1 kilogram of weight, and it supports a full-grown adult without any engineering compromise. That combination does not exist at this price point in any competing product. It retails for around $130 and sets up in under a minute using the same DAC aluminum pole technology that goes into expedition tents rated for Himalayan conditions. A comparable camp chair from Coleman weighs 4.5 kilograms. That is the difference between a chair that clips to the outside of a day pack and a chair you leave in the car because it will not fit in your bag. For backpackers, day hikers, and anyone who wants to bring a functional chair into the field rather than leave it in the parking lot, there is no alternative at Helinox's weight and load capacity. Nothing else comes close. The Helinox Cot 1 folds to the size of a sleeping bag and supports 145 kilograms. The Sunset chair adds lumbar support and a higher seat profile for longer sitting sessions. Every product in the Helinox line uses the same aerospace-grade DAC aluminum that made the company the supplier of choice for the world's premium tent manufacturers. Helinox publishes material specifications. They disclose pole diameter, wall thickness, and load-bearing calculations. No mainstream camping chair brand provides that information because it would reveal that the product cannot survive the comparison. The brand spends nothing on celebrity endorsements or lifestyle marketing. The product does the work. Verdict: the most underrated brand in outdoor gear. The money reaches the material. Across all 10 brands, the same pattern repeats. The logo stays exactly the same. The tent poles get thinner. The marketing budget doubles. We trust brands the way we trust people. The problem is that trust survives long after the evidence stops supporting it. A logo is not a guarantee. It is a memory. Memories do not update themselves. Read the spec sheet before you read the logo. Hit subscribe.